Good morning. It's really shock to the system when that song stops. Happy Sunday morning. We made it to Sunday morning. Nice, peaceful Sunday morning. Ready to everybody relax, take a few minutes. Start off with we're gonna start because it's Sunday. We're gonna have to start this way. You just got to do it. I post every morning on my social media a page from this book. It's called God's Minute. It was written in 1919. I just love it. I need to put my glasses on for it. Sorry. Come on now. January 4th. Keep yourselves in the love of God. O thou eternal love, whom Jesus has taught us to call our Father, and in whom we are learning to trust as our brother, our comrade, our closest friend. We are not seeking thee, for we know that thou art nearer to us every moment than we are to ourselves. We are only wishing and hoping that often, through this day, the thought of thy nearness to us, of thy presence with us, may spring into our consciousness, that we may see what thou art showing us, and know what thou art telling us, and be ready to take what thou art giving us, and to do what thou art bidding us. Help us to feel more than once today that the good thoughts and the good wishes which we find in our hearts are signs of thy presence there. And may we learn to look for thee thus within our own lives and to rejoice when we find thee there. And so to become aware more and more of what we mean when we speak of the fellowship and communion of the Holy Spirit. We know that thou art working in us to will and to do of thy good pleasure, and we know that thou findest thy good pleasure in lives made fruitful and beautiful in thy service. So help us to work with thee this day and every day through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. It's always good to start off the day that way. Warmongers. Starting already, guys. Gonna have that, I guess. Let's see here. Good morning, Jamie, Lone Wolf, especially for liberal tears. Max, this is the coffee on. Yes, it's almost done, actually. So, presidents and prayer. I saw it today. Let's see if this comes up here. There we go. Let's bring this up here.
I want to learn the
I'll wait
routine.
for the commercial to end so I can play it. Nicolas Maduro arrives in New York after capture and arraignment expected Monday. Okay. It says skip ad, but I can't skip the ad. Messed up. Okay. Why can't I?
Quite possibly behind them as they go around the buildings here. Obviously, a lot of protection being put into place as they walk over to the helipad. Again, without being able to see any faces, just judging by the protective gear and the way
Hanging
he
on
is being
Jews.
held by the agent there.
Yes,
See
I know.
to the right behind him to the right, that appears to be his wife. As they walk over to the helicopters that are running, it appears that they will take them from the west side of Manhattan down to Brooklyn by helicopter.
Donnie's not very happy about it. The mayor of New York.
No, you're good, Leo. And you see them getting into the helicopter now, and
They flew him right
be
past
placed
I
into
don't
the
know if it's on
helicopter.
purpose or they had to, but they flew him right past the Statue of Liberty. So they got a nice view of the Statue of
Do our
Liberty on
best
the
to
way in.
follow along with
That
them with the
seems to me
takeoff,
like a little
obviously,
touch of Trump. I
giving them
could see
plenty of
Trump
room to
saying that.
operate.
Flying past the Statue of Liberty.
Sorry, folks, little drift there.
So
Captured
I
Venezuelan
had a
president
little time to
Maduro and his
process
wife
it. What do you guys think
appear to
about
have
it
been
still? Do
loaded
you guys
into
think
this
it's a good
helicopter.
idea?
As a matter of fact, it looks like they're going to take a flight
Madman
by the
Domi.
Statue of Liberty with the Venezuelan president.
For that.
You see them going right by Lady Liberty.
It's got to be crazy to go from king basically with everything you want to a prisoner. It's got to be. I can't imagine what that. I mean, I can't imagine what either one of them would be like. But Kamala criticizes Trump administration over capture of Maduro in Venezuela. I don't know, guys. What do you think, man? I'm a little bit torn, right? So international law, it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky. I'm not sure. Part of me is like, who gives a crap about international law? It's usually geared against us anyway. All of what happens this year, 2026, will lead to an active theater with China in 2027. Pay attention. You can't donate to Super Chat. I got demonetized a little bit over a year ago. I just got a notice I'm allowed to reapply for monetization. YouTube will allow it. So I'll be doing that, but I'm not monetized now. If you wanted to donate, you can check out there's some links in the description, or you can check out my store, which I usually tell people to do because I don't like to ask for donations. I think I don't know. I just don't like to do it. It's available if you want, or you can go to the store that we try to give you some stuff to you actually get something for your money. That's shop.magamericans.com. China was there in a meeting 3 hours before the attack. Yeah, I heard that I heard that. I thought I heard that. I was gonna go check out what CNN's saying about it because CNN, that's the best news. Let's see. Tink. While the U.S. was visibly increasing its military assets in the Caribbean, another buildup was happening in secret. Trump MAGA allies mostly rally behind his Venezuelan strike. I'm so back and forth on it, really, to be honest with you. The international law, it's like garbage anyway. Yeah, there you go. There's trash. Same idea, huh? International law is trash. They're too busy condemning Israel, but turning a blind eye to Sudan, the Druze in Syria, Christians in Nigeria. Screw them. I'm kind of with that. I'm kind of with the fact that America is the strongest country. The world is better off when America is the strongest country. But we can't be tyrannical. Venezuela's opposition rejoiced, but Trump doesn't seem interested in working with them. Not sure how they would say that. He actually said that yesterday. He was. Venezuelans, the hour of freedom has arrived, declared Maria Corina Machado, the leader of Venezuela's opposition movement and recipient of the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize, which she dedicated to Trump when she won it, which is notable, I suppose. Pedophile-driven country. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm gonna take it a little slow today, Sunday. Can't go too hard on a Sunday. Free Maduro, Red Army rising. So it seems like most of the reports that I saw, clicked the wrong thing. Most of the reports that I saw seem to show that Venezuelan people are happy about this, that they're excited about this. It's crazy. I mean, like, all the legalities aside, you got to be like, holy moly. They went in and took a country's leader out and brought him with them. They didn't just murder him. They pulled him out of there and took him and put him where they want, put him in a jail cell. That's if nothing else, to our enemies, that's like, whoa. America can do that? They can get. What about us then? What about us? They got to be nervous. I like a strong America, but you got to do it the right way. Now he's got a sticky situation in Venezuela now. So if he just pulls out and that country falls into chaos, that can be blamed on us. And it's not like that's ever happened before, right? We've never went into a country and totally destabilized it and then just left, right? We've never done that. That's never happened before. We have to be very careful. We have to be very careful. That's for sure. We don't want it to end up being one of those situations where the country does fall into chaos and now it's just worse than it was before. It happens all the time, especially when America seems to get involved in these regime building uh, situations. You always want to skip. Oh, I spilled some coffee. You always want to skip that. Try to avoid that stuff. Pardon me while I wipe up some coffee. What we got? They got the J6 thing going on in DC in a couple of days. I'm curious to see how that turns out. I hope it turns out well. I hope there's no issues. I know that what's going to happen though. It's going to be a little crazy down there when because on January 6th they're doing a 5-year anniversary march for J6, and I just wonder that's going to be interesting because I know personally a lot of these scumbag um, scumbags down in DC that like to protest, and that's what they live for. They live to protest and yell and scream and try to get somebody to be triggered like this guy. He's trying to get me to be triggered. Pack it up, snowflake. Get a job. I'm not sure where the get a job thing came from, but I've always had a job. Matter of fact, I'm very upset about having to go back to it tomorrow. You really cut to the core. You really cut to the core with that. It really hurts me in my heart.
Wrong.
Oh, yeah, it's true. It's probably wrong. You let me use my wrong button. Trump is now Donald Juan Trumpino. Don Juan, president of Venezuela. Yeah, that's right. We got the Muslim takeover. We got Somalis up there with all the. Let's not forget about those issues because that's the way America seems to work, right? We get all bothered and everything. This one issue takes charge of the whole news cycle, and that's okay when it's a pressing issue like the Somalian fraud and all that kind of stuff. But then once we get to the next story, everybody forgets the last story, and that's kind of how it works. They do that on purpose sometimes. They'll drop some big, huge story, and it'll be really just to get our minds off the last story. Remember the day before September 11th, there was like trillions missing. Oh, it's weird. They wouldn't do anything like that, I wouldn't think, right? Right? We got to do something about the Somali takeover, the Muslim takeover. I don't know what these blue demons were thinking. They were thinking votes, man. They were thinking votes. They get votes from that stuff. So and don't think that money that disappears, billions of dollars or whatever it ends up being has not been recycled back into our country a bit with some kickbacks here and there. Protest is the language of the voiceless. I think so as far as the J6 thing goes, on January 6th, they're going to do that march. And I just wonder because I know these people from DC, these clowns, these absolute clowns that go out there and protest, but they don't really protest. Their whole goal is to shut down your First Amendment right. That's their whole goal, just to shut down your First Amendment right so that you can't speak your say your truth. I hate that expression, but you can't exercise your First Amendment. They want to shut you down. They do so with insults and all kinds of triggering actions. They use megaphones and turn the little sirens on, just leave them on so they don't even have to hold a button down. It's just like the laziest protesting ever. And I'm just a little concerned that some of those people are going to trigger some of the J6ers who aren't familiar. Because I look back to when I first started back in DC when we went down there to protest. It was my first real time doing anything like that. And I didn't really know how to react. Like, I did well, but I didn't really know how to react to those trolls and those people that were just there to trigger us and get us in trouble and that kind of stuff. So we would leave. Now I'm an old school vet now. I'm a vet now. So I know how to deal with them. It's pretty easy, to be honest, for me. They don't bother me. But we can get to that later. There's some tools you can use on those people that really just kind of make them crumble. And it's really a beautiful thing to watch. But I'm a little concerned that some of the J6ers aren't familiar with that kind of stuff, that kind of behavior, those kind of tactics, and so on and so forth, are going to get triggered, and they're going to make that viral video with some kind of reaction or whatever. It's like even the some of us that were around those people a lot, like like um, Tommy Tatum, for instance, he was down there a lot. He was around those clowns a lot, and he still got triggered and couldn't control himself. He still didn't have any impulse control and would lash out and do stupid stuff to get himself in trouble. I think he stole some girl's glasses right from her face or something one time because he got angry or triggered or whatever. And he's not. He was used to it. He just his was different. It wasn't an experience with him. It was more of an emotional maturity with him that he couldn't handle. He couldn't handle that. He wanted to lash out like a child, and you can't behave that way when you're in those situations because guess what? Then the other side wins. The other side wins. So for those J6ers that are going down there, um, be careful. And the number one tool that you can use against those clowns down in DC. Pay attention now. Pay attention now. This is important stuff.
Shut up.
Oh, Nancy. That's not very nice, Nancy. The most important tool, the most effective and most important tool you can use against those clowns down there is ridicule. Ridicule. Laugh and point. Laugh and point. That is something that they couldn't stand because the one thing about those people is I've said this so many times before, they take themselves so serious. And you need to take me serious too. What I'm doing is important stuff, and you need to respect it and honor me for doing it because I am a valiant, amazing, virtuous person fighting evil. So when you ridicule them, it really shuts them down. They don't know how to react to that. If you yell insults back at them, man, that just feeds them. That's what they want. They're like they're like an older brother tormenting a younger sister and triggering her and stuff like that into bad reactions. So really, all you really have to do is do ridicule. They end up leaving usually when you do that. I mean, these guys will be there for a purpose, so I know they'll stay until the walk, and then maybe they'll go down to Freedom Corner. Who knows? So they'll be there for the duration today. But on the regular, they would come down to Freedom Corner and they would stay there for like an hour, maybe an hour. And it was always an hour, about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. But whenever that number would hit, they would just pack, like instantly go from screaming and yelling to they would just pack up and leave. It was almost like they were getting paid to do it. It was almost like they were getting paid to do it. I would never make such an accusation like that. Who knows? That would be just total speculation. But if I was to speculate, I would say that they were getting paid. So for those J6ers that are going down there, hear me. Ridicule. Ridicule. MAGA protecting pedos. Trump 2028. There's people trolling each other, huh? And then I keep hearing people say the Epstein files. No one is talking about them at the moment, are they? Nope. I'm not super concerned with the Epstein files. I mean, I'd love to have people go to jail or get in trouble or pay consequences or whatever, but it's just not going to happen. They have been out there for too long. They've been in too many different hands. The chain of custody is just all funky with them. So I don't think anything's really going to come of them. I don't want them to be forgotten. I'd like to see some results from that. I'd like to see some people get in trouble. But the reality of it is, it's probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. But yeah, the news stories push each other out of the way, and they do that on purpose, right? So, It's the same idea as whenever there's a big news story or something like that from coming from the government or whatever. A lot of times they'll drop it on a Friday late afternoon. Pay attention to that. Fridays, late afternoon, last day before a holiday, that type of stuff when people are putting their computers away and trying to focus more on family stuff and the people aren't following as closely, that's when they drop those stories on a Friday night or whatever so that you don't think about it and maybe it can just go under the radar by using the First Amendment. Oh, as far as other people trying to shut us down, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with their speech. I mean, like, it's kind of despicable the stuff that they yell. It's not moral. Like how they'll scream like pedophile at people and stuff, even though they have no evidence or even they just made it up. The point is the reaction that it gets from the crowd around them, and no one wants. Oh, he said he was a pedophile. No one talks to a pedophile. Don't talk to that guy. I'm not going to waste any time talking to that guy because those people over there, the one wearing a crown and a bathing suit or whatever weird costume they have on today, that guy said that this guy's a pedophile. So let's not even bother talking to him. Which is, I get that. That makes sense. Yeah. You mean they'll trigger the violent idiots? um, I mean, I guess that's what I mean, but not really. Not all J6ers are quote unquote violent idiots. There were some violent ones there, sure. But that's a narrative right there that you're just sucking up and then you spit it back out again. Hi, question. When do you Americans stop to destabilizing the world? So when do you Americans stop destabilizing the world? Oh, I don't know, man. I guess whenever we're done. So as far as the DC thing goes, yeah, I think it's fine that they want to do it. I don't think it's a bad idea, but I think they just need to be aware of these trolls and stuff so that they don't get pulled in, they don't smack a camera away, they don't do whatever because there is nothing more. There's nothing that those trolls and those angry agitators and that kind of stuff, nothing they want more than to trigger and get a headline to read J6 are arrested in DC for violent yada yada. That's what they want. That's what they want. Oh, troopers back in DC. That's cool. Good for him. He can handle it. He dealt with it more than probably anybody. Do I have any Trump meme coin? No, no, no Trump coins. Oh, the guy on the screen protects pedophiles. Oh, you mean me? Oh, you mean me? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, what closet man? Closet. What? Okay. Lying about today. So Gen X tactics. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. What happened to no oil wars? I mean, this isn't a war. The thing with Venezuela is not a war. First of all, let's be careful because terminology matters here. It's not a war. It's a military action, which is legal, right? Legal for the president to take. Yeah, the libs are melting. Meanwhile, the Venezuelan people are celebrating. It's interesting, depending on where you look, what news source you look at. Some focus on saying how the Venezuelan people are excited and happy and whatever, and some of them are talking about how the Venezuelan people are supporting Maduro. So I mean, that's the thing. You don't know. We don't know. We only know what they show us, right? We don't need to be so quick to come to a conclusion. We don't have to have a position on things right away. Like yesterday, I kind of held off because I wanted to look at some stuff and I wanted to research some things. I wanted to see, is this really constitutional? Is it really okay with international law? And yada 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 yada. More and Joyce. Um, And as far as the international law goes, technically, no, I think it was probably against international law. On the other hand, I'm like, F international law. F all y'all. But on the other hand, can you really do that and live in a good world, a good society? If we do that, will other countries do that? Are we different? Are we special? Well, yes, we are. We are different and we are special. However, you know, we still got to live with all these other countries. You don't want to appear tyrannical. On the other hand, I love that they did it. I love that they captured him and they did that. But man, it's a sticky situation, that's for sure. There's no lying there. It's definitely a sticky situation. Once again, no friends in his own chat. I'm all by myself. You know why? Because I could take on hundreds and hundreds of trolls all by myself. Doesn't matter. Your arrows bounce off of my armor. It's always been that way. I don't know what it is, but they don't bother me. Sarcasm destroys an indoctrinated mind. It's true. It's true. Like I said, these guys there, they have to be they need to be taken seriously. And they get angry when you don't. I remember a couple times, like the one girl that used to go down there, all you had to do was point at her. I'd have my live stream going and I would like point at her so that they could see it. And then I'd laugh and pretend like I was talking on the live stream about her. And then she'd get all upset and be mad and she'd get flustered and she'd leave. They can't stand being ridiculed. They cannot stand it. If you argue back with these trolls, these stupid leftist paid protesters or whatever you want to call them, if you yell and scream back at them, that's what they want. That feeds them. They want you to do that. And because if you do that, that means you're taking them serious. If they can get under your skin, that means you're taking them serious. That means they're winning. They don't need to win the argument. They just need to get you flustered. Some of us go into those interactions thinking that we can beat them in a debate or show them, or maybe we can show them the light or something like that. That's not the case. Give that up. Forget about that. That's not going to happen. These people are the ones that are the furthest down the rabbit hole of crazy. And you have to understand that. So rationalizing with them, talking with them, explaining with them, bullet pointing facts with them, it's not going to work. They're not going to listen because they've been so indoctrinated, they know not to listen. They'll call you names, they'll put you in a box, they'll give you a label, and then that label by itself, the one that they assign you, that doesn't really, you don't really belong to that. They just assigned it to you. That label will be what they use to ignore you or disgrace you or whatever. It's not even something that you are. This country is at war from within. The libs are terrorists. We are at war from within, yes. I can't say that all libs are terrorists though. Then we shut down conversation if we do stuff like that. We can't do that. We have to be able to have conversation. As much as you don't want to have conversation, as much as like the left thinks that the right is evil, but the right just thinks the left is stupid. Not spelled STOOPID, like I've gotten in a couple different messages now from different people on my YouTube and some other social media. They'll call me stupid and they literally spell it STOOPID. There was going to call me a dumb dumb, and he spelled that wrong. Hello. So you're fine with Trump going to prison? Absolutely not. But the libs have been cool with that for years. At least they've been trying, right? No, I don't think he deserves prison, nor should he go to prison. No, I don't. I would not like to see that. MAGA equals protecting pedos. Pedophilia. See, that's their favorite word, man. You can't shut it down, really. Venezuela is celebrating the capture of their dictator. Yeah. No, Trump's not going anywhere. Yeah. The left wants to talk about they want to talk about Epstein until they until they realize they're in that too. You know, it was more it. Here's a telling fact, right? So the Epstein files were a much more useful tool. They were a much more useful political football for the Democrats, for the left, before they came out. See, before they came out, before most of it came out, I don't even know what percentage is out now, but before it came out, the left could lie and cheat and make up stories and redact faces that weren't ever, there's pictures of them already, like the one with the models from the Hawaiian Miss Tropic or whatever it was. Trump took a picture with some models. The Democrats took that old picture, redacted these ladies' faces, these grown women, their faces, and then put it out as a picture that came out from Epstein. And when the Epstein files were all locked up and nothing really had come out yet, people believed that a lot quicker than they do now. So the Epstein files were a much more useful tool for the Democrats before they became mostly public, right? Because now they can't use them that way anymore. Now they can't make up stories and edit pictures and that kind of stuff. You know, that's a great question. How come the Dems didn't release it? Because that's exactly why. Because it was a political football, a very useful political football, but it was a political football that they could use. And again, once it's open now, once you can see in there and you can verify facts or see whatever, it's become a much less useful tool and one that could incriminate some of them, and they know that. That's why they wanted it just to be a tool and never to be released, never to be opened. I think the word pedo is probably the most typed word in my chat. I think I finally made it, guys. I think I finally made it. Yay! He's actively blocking the Epstein files. He's on every page. Okay. He's on every page. Come on, man. People don't believe that crap. He's on every page. Oh man. Someone calls me a pedophile and I'm busting their mouth. Yeah, that's the thing, man. I don't know if you're out there, if you're a J6er, if you're going to be out there protesting or whatever, but that's the thing. They want you to do that. That's the reaction they want. And it happens on both sides, but those people out there live streaming and stuff, they want you to react that way. They'll take a punch in the mouth for a viral video any day of the week. That's the reaction they want. You have to just let it brush off. You have to laugh at them. When they do that and you laugh at them, they realize it's not working and they will stop or change tactics. Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I never said that we're all violent. Are you a J6er? I'm starting to wonder that too, Joyous. Maybe it's more of a projection thing, huh? Maybe it's more of a projection thing. You do the same thing for the Murdoch family. You sound like Fox News soundboard. That's interesting. I'm not though. It's interesting. I don't watch Fox News. I don't really watch. I kind of switched up what I do as far as to find out what like when I go to look for news and stuff. Like I have talk radio that I listen to, and I listen to both sides. I have a show I listen to on the left. I have a show I listen to on the right. I want to get both sides. I want to know what the left's working on. I want to know what tactics they're about to employ and what they're talking about, what the buzz is over there. But I go out and search of it, like on the computer. I'll go out and search of it. I'll search stories, and it's important. I do my best if I have time. I have 5 kids and a full time job, and it's a busy life. But I do my best to find the source material. That's the important part. The source material. I'm not going to go by or quote or try not to. I'm sure I have, but I try not to quote or go by a story that's like they'll report like Axios or somebody, some smaller thing will come out in like 4 in the morning with some story, unverified story or propaganda or whatever. And then the major news outlets will pick it up that morning, but they'll say, excuse me, they'll say, Axios is reporting, or the HuffPo is reporting. And then they give the story. That releases them from any liability. They just said, oh, these guys are reporting. We were just telling you that these guys are reporting. That's all. I was just telling you about that. So they get away with it, but the story gets put into the bloodstream. And because it was broadcast on one of those major networks, most people take it as gospel and they'll believe it. Even after redactions come out, they'll still believe the original story because people have been subverted. And those redactions usually come out on page like 1526 on section C in the bottom left corner. Because then that newspaper or whoever the source is can say, oh, we got it wrong, but we care about our integrity and we redacted that. And they're not wrong. They're telling the truth. They did redact it, but it's not anywhere anyone can see. That's the games that they play to put these stories in and influence the people. They're not always true. They're rarely true, really. Do you think that what's his face will be there? I don't know. Who do you mean? Another sad victim. See, they're trying to put a label, right? They do the pedo thing, that doesn't work with me, so then they go on and now they're trying to do the Fox News. Oh, he's just a Fox News propagandist. He's a victim, which insinuates that I'm too stupid to tell the difference between truth and fiction, and that I watch only Fox News. So that villainizes me as far as the left is concerned in two different ways. One, I'm stupid, so you shouldn't listen to me because I'm stupid. And two, I'm another sad victim of Fox News propaganda. So that makes it so I watch Fox News now. You can't try. It's a double strike right there. The left will label you so that they can ignore you. That's it. They want to shut down your free speech. They don't do it. They don't do it by holding your mouth closed. They do it by closing the ears of the people around you. That was so profound.
Shut up.
Oh, Nancy. If you feel comfortable being around pedophiles, we should scrutinize you for the same issues. I mean, maybe if you feel comfortable with it. I'm not I have 5 children. I'm not really too comfortable with it. So, you J6 grinder cucks are bootlicking cowardly traitors. All right. Well, thanks for sharing your thoughts. I appreciate that. Get that out, man. Get that out. Do it again. Keep going. Direct some insults at me. Just give me some maybe. Use this as therapy. The weak mind of the left needs therapy to be able to manage their daily lives. So I think, where a normal, like a conservative or even just a normal person, someone who's not left on the left or whatever, will go out in the morning and they'll do something good for them that helps them. So they'll go out and work out or something, right? They'll go out, pump iron, or run or something. Your brain needs that too. And for the liberal mind, you need to be able to expunge, and you need to be able to get rid of all that nastiness. You need to spew it onto somebody. So use me in this live stream here as therapy, if you will, and just let it go. Let it go. I know you probably have a quota of amounts of times a day that you're supposed to say pedophile or pedo. So go ahead and get them all out now if you need to. That way you can hit your quota and you can go about your day feeling like a virtuous, beautiful, wonderful hero that you are. You'd get strung up in my town, pederast. Pederast? Yes, it is. It's an illegal war. It's not a war. That's not a war. It's a military action, which the president is authorized to do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to get congressional authority. He didn't declare war. Traitor live. Good grief. You support fascist. Okay.
Okay, bye. Learn English, please. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
How could you still be MAGA after all this? Why are you still supporting Trump after he betrayed us? How did he betray us? Put that out in on the paper there. How did he betray us? Thank you for the beard compliment. I appreciate that. Oh. Did you turn to pedophilia because women didn't like you? He hasn't brought back the military from Venezuela. They're going to die there. Well, the mission kind of isn't over if they're gonna stay for to help to rebuild Venezuela like they were talking about. And you don't just pull the whole military out. Boom, that's it. We got it. Let's go. Can't do that's not how these things work. You can't do that. You have to leave some people there, at least in case that you the whole country descends into chaos. You need to be able to have some people there to maybe help stop that. Don't forget the vice president that's in charge now was appointed by Maduro. And some triggered people. There's some triggered people out there, man. Woo! I'm done with drugs that come into our country that are killing my friends and family, right? Maduro said to come get him, and Trump complied, right? Yeah. Oh, wait. Victor Gutierrez says there's no proof of drugs on those boats. Normally, they would board the boat to show proof. Maybe. Maybe they have people on the inside that know where the boats are leaving from, or maybe they have video of them getting loaded. I've seen video of the boats getting loaded. If I've seen video of boats getting loaded, they probably have more. Tell me you don't know how military actions work without telling me you don't know how military actions work. I would imagine the end game is if you're talking about Venezuela, I imagine the end game would be to stabilize them and get the hell out of there. Venezuela used to be the most prosperous, richest country in all of South America until Hugo Chavez came in and and just destroyed the country with socialism. Maduro's not any better. But Venezuela before socialism is a great example of the ravages of socialism and how it doesn't work. It's a great example. So I imagine the end game is to restore it to its former glory. Hashtag make Venezuela great again, and then get the hell out of there. Have a new a good partner in South America, but it's not America South. You can't look at it that way. We can't even pretend to treat it that way. That's no good. We can't. I just know your dumbass has kids too. Don't be shocked when they don't want to talk to your dumbass. Actually, I have five. And the oldest one just voted for the first time this last election. And you know where he voted? He voted correctly. Voted correctly. Raising strong men, strong conservative men with good conservative values. I don't know, man. My family's going to be 7 votes eventually. That's great. Keep it up. Let's reproduce. Let's go. We are tyrannical. How? How are we tyrannical? There's a full all caps, so you know it's serious, guys. You know it's serious. You're too dumb to understand that you are outnumbered every day in your own chat. So this is not an echo chamber. It's wonderful. I appreciate that it's not an echo chamber. I also appreciate that the left comes in here and makes themselves look like hell. They make themselves look, they expose themselves. Their hatred for me is so powerful that they expose themselves. It's amazing. Let's see if I can't find some video here. Mr. Sandman. I wonder how many hot pockets are getting cooked out there for the morning, or maybe it'd be more of like a fruit roll up breakfast, or do you do like more of a hot pocket, like a breakfast hot pocket for breakfast? Is that what we do? Like I said, you have to board the boats to show proof of said drugs. No, you don't. Not if you're entrenched in the country and witnessed stuff before it left. Which that's what they kind of say. So I wonder, right? Let's see if I can't find something. Oh, Bernie Sanders has to say. Oh, we got to see what Bernie Sanders has to say. He's gonna be pissed. I bet he's gonna be angry. Let's see what Bernie Sanders has to say about this real quick. This is important because it's Bernie and he's a socialist. There it is.
Donald Trump has once again shown his contempt for the Constitution and the rule of law. Let's be clear. The President of the United States does not have the right to unilaterally take this country into war, even against a corrupt and brutal dictator like Maduro. The United States does not have the right, as Trump stated this morning, to run Venezuela. Congress must immediately pass a war powers resolution to end this illegal military operation and reassert its constitutional responsibilities. Trump's attack on Venezuela will not make the United States and the world safer. Quite the contrary. This brazen violation of international law gives a green light to any country on earth that may wish to attack another nation to seize their resources or change their governments. This is the horrific logic of force that Putin used to justify his brutal attack on Ukraine. Trump and his administration have made it clear that they want to revive the Monroe Doctrine, a belief that claims that the United States has the right to dominate the affairs of the hemisphere. They have spoken openly about controlling Venezuela's oil reserves, the largest in the world.
No, they haven't.
Let's make no mistake about it. This is rank imperialism. It recalls the darkest chapters of U.S. interventions in Latin America, which have left a terrible legacy. It will and should be condemned by the democratic world. Trump campaigned for president on an America First platform. He claimed to be the peace candidate. Well, at a time when 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, when our healthcare system is collapsing,
Here we go.
when people throughout this country cannot afford
control the
housing,
people,
and when artificial intelligence threatens millions of jobs, it is time for the president to focus on the crises facing this country and end the military adventurism abroad. Trump is failing in his job to run the United States of America. He should not be trying to run Venezuela. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you. Why are you trolls in here if you don't like this? Because they have to be. They are compelled to let us know that we are wrong. They have to come in, label us, and let us know that we are wrong. We are evil. We support horrible things, blah, 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 but they can't tell you why. They can't tell you why most of the time that they think that way. They just think that way because they're emotional thinkers and very virtuous, very, very virtuous. Must take them seriously. You must. It's weird how the families of people in the military want to know why we are in Venezuela and no reason to be there. Well, that's not weird. That's totally normal that they would want to know why. Your actions and words earn you your label, scum. It's sad. It's sad that one American can think that another American is scum just because of who they support or what policies they like or what religion they are or what color they are or whatever difference they can find. What difference they can find. Yep. Oh, clown alert. Where? Where's the clown? Hurry up. Label him. The right and the left do it. Yep. Yep. I'm not here just to say, oh, the left sucks and the right is perfect. That's not true either. The right we have our problems as well. That's not, yeah. The right uses propaganda as well. I will say that I think that the left is more subverted, more easily subverted. And the reason behind that is because generally speaking, the left is trained to use emotions to come to conclusions. And the right is more inclined to use facts. So because of that right there, it's harder to subvert the right. Now that happens. It does happen a lot. It happens a good bit on the right. That's why it's important that you don't just latch on to some group or some person or some pundit or whatever and just believe everything they say. Find out the source material. If they make a claim, go look it up. If you want to use it as an argument, in an argument, you have to look it up. That's the first thing America does is label you a dictator or a terrorist to justify bombing someone. I mean, you're not necessarily wrong. You're not necessarily wrong, but in this case, that would be true. I mean, it is. It is true. So, yes, you're not wrong, but in this instance, it's legitimate. Yeah. Open border, men and girls bathrooms, fraud. Democrats are just disgusting. I do not have a kid in the military, but I would be more likely to be okay with that now. I'm a vet myself, and I would be more inclined. I know that after Biden got out, like when Biden was in, I would fight against my son joining the military. I would have fought against that. But now that Trump's in office, I'm a little more likely to not to be so against it because I'm not so worried that he's going to be killed in some ridiculous withdrawal from Afghanistan or whatever. I know that he at least has their backs. Yeah, it's a dangerous job. It's always going to be a dangerous job. You sign up for that. You sign up for it. So, can't minimize it too much. Are you wealthy or just a whitey? I guess my background would be I was a small business owner. Well, I am still, but I was a small business owner until COVID and, worked my butt off. I'm a blue collar guy, entrepreneur, common sense, that kind of stuff. I'm not so educated that I become stupid. We're not indoctrinated. Yep, we're not. The more people are against you, the more you know you're doing something right. Yeah, yeah. That's a good question too. Ask Venezuelans how they feel about Maduro trolls. I do see some stories talking about how there's a lot of support for Maduro, but it doesn't really seem to ring true. I see a lot more reports of celebration in the streets and people celebrating that he's out. I'm sure they're still pretty leery because it's still kind of the same government in place, but you know. You've never studied, quote unquote, the left, though. Your speech is telling. What kind of a comment is that even? I totally don't think that you ever researched the left, bruh. Trust me, bruh. I know you better than you, bruh. By how you're talking, bruh. You're a useful tool for debating politics. Huh. Laughing my ass off. Okay, retard. You can't fix stupid. Just saying. A lot of mad people out there. I need to get myself a quick refill. Give me about 2 minutes and I'll be right back. Maybe I should put a video on for the silly people out there. That way they have something to stare at. Now, let's do this.
Leaders this morning who are waking up to a new reality with what happened overnight. We have our CB Cotton. Not this was an
The UN Secretary General released a statement saying he is deeply concerned that international law may not have been respected. As you mentioned, global leaders are watching as all of this unfolds to see what comes next for Venezuela and U.S. foreign policy. In Europe, the European Council president released a statement, Antonio Costa, and he said he was following the developments with, quote, great concern, urging de-escalation and respect of international law. Some Latin American countries are also making similar calls. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum reposted the official statement of her country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which condemned the strikes as a violation of the United Nations and called for dialogue, not force. U.S. adversaries are also weighing in. Russia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs writing in part on X, quote, the pretext used to justify these actions are untenable. Russia reaffirms its solidarity with the Venezuelan people. Iran and its supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, which also has a long history of conflict with the U.S. Well, he has rattled off a series of posts this morning about the strike, including one which says in part, quote, what's important is when one realizes an enemy wants to force something on one's government or nation with false claims, they must stand firmly against the enemy. But there are also voices of support. Argentina's president, a strong ally of President Trump, wrote, quote, freedom advances. Long live freedom. And in the UK, reform leader and staunch Trump ally Nigel Farage, he questioned the legality of the attack, but said it may lead to a favorable outcome. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer had more a reserved take, saying he wanted to make it clear that the UK was not involved in these strikes, and he believes everyone should uphold international law. He also added that he wants to speak to President Trump and other UK allies. Brian, we're going to monitor it. Back to you.
No doubt. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Michael Waltz, just putting on X, this is not regime change. This is justice. Maduro was indicted illegitimate dictator that led a declared narco-terrorism organization responsible for killing American citizens. All eyes will be on New York City this upcoming week, as well as Caracas, Venezuela. CB Cotton, thank you from the United Nations.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagna.
Does the international law have anything in their documents about protecting your citizens from being poisoned by synthetic opioids? I don't know. It might. It should. Imagine thinking that the pinnacle of knowledge is common sense. I'm sorry, did I say the pinnacle of knowledge was common sense? I did not say that. Are you putting words in my mouth so that you can put me in a box? so that you can label me? Man, don't do that. It hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings. How can you do that to somebody? That's just mean. The pinnacle of knowledge is not common sense, but it's up there because it's so rare nowadays. See? Channel for pedos. That guy loves the pedo stuff. He's big on it. So MAGA is okay with Putin being next, right? I mean, I don't think we need to be doing that all across the world. All across. I don't like that. I am not a fan of that. It is what it is. Rodriguez has no choice but to allow the U.S. to run Venezuela. I don't like that when he said that. We're going to run the country or whatever. It's tricky. Like I said, I'm watching, and I'll be honest about it. If I see something that seems like, out of control or whatever, then I'll call it out. Like I'm not a Trump apologist, but I do believe that a lot of the stuff he's doing is good stuff. Yes, Iran is very interesting. What's going on over there? Iran used to be a lot freer than they are now, and I think that they're finally going to stand up. Hopefully, they finally stand up against their own government, but their own government is shooting them down in the streets. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Not wrong. It's hard to find a comment in here that doesn't say something about pedos. You guys are really obsessed with pedophilia. Are you okay? Maybe you should seek therapy. Maybe this therapy isn't enough. Let's see. Are there any intelligent comments out here? Is that it? Are we done? Did you spend all your intelligence points? Effing nothing to do with drugs, F nuts. It's about oil. I don't think it is all about oil. I don't think it is. I think it's got a lot to do with China and Russian influence out of the. Let me see here. Hang on. With China and Russia influence. But who knows?
Iraq is sitting on.
What about people who say you're only interested in the Middle East for oil?
Oil?
What?
You cooking?
Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking? Oh.
Yeah.
President Bush met with UN Secretary General Kofi Annan and made it clear the U.S. will act.
This Chappelle show was one of the greatest.
Reluctant.
I think it was one.
You win? You have a problem with that? You know what you should do? You should sanction me. Sanction me with your army. Oh!
You don't have
it. You don't have an army. I guess that means you need to shut the up. That's what I would do if I didn't have no army. I would shut up. Shut the
It's not wrong, right? It's not wrong. I don't think it's about drugs. I think drugs is part of it. It was a way in, honestly, but I don't think it's drugs. I think it's more getting China and Russian influence out of our hemisphere, resetting the natural order of things back to where it's supposed to be. You have to be a freak Mason. I am not a Mason. Common sense. Absolutely, it's rare. It is absolutely. And it's so rare. It's ridiculous how rare it is. I think we'd have a lot more common sense about political and national issues if we still had civics in school. They don't teach civics anymore. They spend like 1.5 days on the Constitution. It's really pitiful. It's really pitiful. Jefferson President Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence and third president of the United States of America, said that the populace has to be informed. We have to have an informed population, or we're just not going to be able to hold this together. We've long since not had a informed public. It's been a long time. The USA is going to go into panic mode when a war comes to U.S. soil. Everyone thinks it won't happen until it does. It won't happen. There's a rifle behind every blade of grass. You should look that up. You should look that quote up. So you don't think T. Rump is a pedophile? I would say no, I don't. I don't. You know why I don't think that? It's not because I like his policies, even though I do. It's not because I'm on the right or a conservative. It's not because of anything like that. It's because I haven't seen any, what do you call it? Oh, yeah, evidence. I never seen any evidence, facts or evidence of that actually being true. If I did see evidence of that being true, then I'd probably have to change my mind on some stuff. I'm not going to be like, oh, he lowered taxes. It's cool that he was diddling kids, as long as he lowers my taxes. No, that's not how we think. That's how the left is trained to believe that the right thinks, but it's not. You're trained to think that we're your enemies. I'm not your enemy. You can call me names all you want. I'm still not your enemy. You're not going to trigger me into being angry at you. Most of the time, I just feel pity. I feel pity for those on the left. Those, not necessarily just the left, but anyone that's indoctrinated. Anyone that's indoctrinated. I just feel for you. It's a sad thing. Strategery. Amen. Thank them for their service. There's no drugs, no oil, yada, yada, yada. The victory in Venezuela will allow Trump to pass the laws we need to dismantle the deep state. Oh, elaborate on that. I'd be interested to know what your thought on that is. Let's see. Well, we got some good comments in here. We need more. We need more. The people of Venezuela will prosper more. Look at the celebrations. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing celebrations now. People are comparing that to whenever Iraq was liberated and there was a lot of celebrations, but the situations are different. You see, because before with Bush, we had an establishment Republican warmonger type of president. He just left. The way that they left Iraq, it was horrible. It was it's never going to work. Then you end up creating a vacuum when you pull out. It's just not good. So hopefully, we're not occupying. We're not going to be there for years. We're not doing any of that. I hope that they help build up some stuff, make it so that they have a head start getting back on track. Because like I said, they were one of the most popular or one of the most profitable, richest countries in South America before. I think they were the richest. And they can get back to that again, but socialism dragged them out of it. Socialism dragged that country down into the muck. The Venezuelan people, they got no issues with the Venezuelan people. It's their leadership, the people that took charge illegally. They were living under tyranny. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of the celebrations. Pedophilia comments, I'm confused. Yeah, so like the left, the weak-minded, term I haven't used in a while, the weak-minded mental midgets of the left here will throw out the most vile words they can because it will repel people. They're hoping that they can repel people away from my voice because they don't want people to listen to me. They want people to leave and go, he's a pedophile. They said he was a pedophile. Is this what I'm supposed to say? I'm not a pedophile. I'm not. I mean, I'm not, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh no, I swear I'm not. Because if I do that, you see, it's all about the tactics. I don't know what it is. I've always been able to deal with the left pretty well. But if you go out there and you go, I'm not a pedophile. I have 5 kids and I did this and I was a coach and I was this and I was that. There's no way I'm a pedophile. Then you give them validity. You validate their BS. Remember I said earlier, they want to be taken seriously more than anything. And when you do that, that means you took them seriously. You're concerned about their words and you feel like you need to defend it. Well, then right then you've given away the power. Now they have the power because you're over here on your heels trying to defend against whatever. It doesn't matter what insult they say, you're defending against it. That means you validated it. Liberal, lacking in basic education, reasoning, and logic. Sums up a liberal. Well, generally speaking, I can't say you're wrong. Iran is about to fall. Most of the people have gained control of police stations, towns, and cities. That's promising, man. That's promising. That's the thing that we don't hate like the Iranian people. I don't hate anybody, right? We don't hate the Iranian people. We don't hate the Venezuelan people. We don't hate the Mexican people. I don't hate Mexicans or whatever. We hate tyranny. We hate injustice. That's what we hate. Let's see. The United States is the world's largest producer of oil, crude oil, and petroleum liquids, a position it has held for the past several years. How did America do this without Venezuelan oil? I don't know. That's a good question. They must have stolen it from someone else, right? That's not true. That's not true. You should do a little bit more research and find out that that's not true. It was a narrative put out, but it wasn't true. The case was dismissed and they declined to do it again. I believe it was for insufficient evidence, but I'd have to go back and look. There have been so many. You are the evil. Your parents from East Europe were evil. You are evil. Islam is peace, prosperity, justice, humanity. Zionism is a shit in the hooligans, thieves, grabbers, murderers, killers, and third-class people. Well, now, first of all, that is so eloquently said and really, really shines the light of your intelligence upon all of us pitiful creatures out here. You are the evil, your parents from East Europe. Actually, it's funny. I'm related to Sir Francis Drake, who they called the Dragon. He was a pirate, and he was, So I'm a blue blood. Seems like from your comment there that it's clear Islam is the religion of peace, total religion of peace. MAGA changed their tune on pedophilia. What's that mean? You're saying MAGA's cool with it now? We're cool with it. MAGA changed their tune on pedophilia after his name was redacted over 10,000 times by a group of extra agents who were tasked with removing his name from the files. It's important to know what you don't know. And you don't know. I know that I can't sit here and say that's 100% unequivocally false. I don't know. You get wrapped up in these games trying to figure out a place, the side that you're supposed to be on. You start forgetting that it's more important to wait and see what the truth actually is. But that's not important. The truth isn't important. That's the point. The truth isn't important to the left. Not the left. The truth isn't important to these useful idiots that have been subverted to believe that anyone who supports Trump is evil. Those people. What's up from a Cuban? What's up? How do you feel about the whole Venezuelan thing? Like these ridiculous comments. More pictures of Trump with Epstein exist than pictures of him with all of his wives combined. Now, what a ridiculous statement. Like how ridiculous is that? Did you really believe that? Like you really believe that? Like, right? Is it like that you count stuff like the picture with Jeffrey Epstein on the couch with Trump and some women around, right? Like you consider that one. The one, you know what I'm talking about, the one with the lady who has the like 4-foot forearm. You believe that stuff, huh? You just believe everything you see. Doesn't matter if it looks right or not. Yeah, that's not wrong. Drugs don't kill people. People kill themselves with drugs. Pfizer is the drug cartel. 800,000 missing children per year. Found them, sir. Congratulations, President Trump and other woke sanctuary state busted. Chop houses look like daycare. Daycare is busted. Yeah, Venezuela has been F for years, but before that, they were a vibrant, successful country. And they can be again. I think that's kind of the point of what he's doing to kind of like make Venezuela great again kind of thing. I don't want them to spend all our tax money there and do all that kind of stuff. I'm not interested in boots on the ground for a while, whatever, but help them get back on their feet and then get the hell out of there. Now you got a friend in South America again, but you don't have to like occupy it. We don't want that. That's no good. We definitely don't want Iraq 2.0. Look, another intelligent comment here. The Kool-Aid that you all drank has caused brain rot. First thing to go is common sense. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Yes, 100%. You'll definitely find the most common sense in YouTube live chats, though. Absolutely. Trump cut education. How did Trump cut education? So why are you even talking about school? Damn, you are a moron. The all caps thing is a typical thing that YouTube chatters will do. The ones that stand in the back of the room, they want to put it on all caps because they really want you to see their insult or whatever it is that they're doing because they're very important, even if it doesn't make any sense. They should close the Department of Education completely. The federal government should have literally almost nothing to do with education. Does that trigger you? Does that trigger you, Kid Drock? Wait, you are the biggest wild animal. Wild animals, dogs like hyenas, look at your settlers and then the behavior of a wild dog, hyenas, there's no difference. Wait, I'm going to try that one more time.
You are the biggest wild animal. Wait, hang on. You are the biggest wild animals, dogs like hyenas. Look at your settlers and then the behavior of a wild dog. Hyenas, there's no difference.
I'm freaking out, man.
Drinking in the morning is not a good thing, guys. Clinton and Trump are both child rapists. Can we do evidence, though? Like, even with Clinton, I haven't seen all the stuff. I kind of gave up on the Epstein files, but I've heard there's some stuff there. And can we give up on calling anybody a child rapist or a pedophile until we have evidence, whatever side they're on? Like, it doesn't matter to me what side you're on. I don't want to label somebody on the left a pedophile or a child rapist or some life-changing, life-altering label like that without any evidence, because I'm too mature for that, you see. My integrity won't allow it. That's right, integrity. I know that a few of you out there in the chat probably need to look that word up. Let's see here. Let me do one thing here. Got to put it up there because it's awesome. It is awesome. Don't forget to check out my website for all my links, and then check out the store. We try to give you something here. I don't want to just ask for donations. I've been saying that a while. Some other people are catching on, starting to do it themselves too. But I don't want to give something in my eye. I don't want to give you, I don't want to be like, hey, donate to us. Donate because you always can. There's a link in the description, but I try to make it so it's more of a I give you something. Come buy one of my shirts or something like that. Well, that's not true. When Trump gets rid of pennies, it will make us all pay 4 cents to 8 cents more for every item purchased, even on the tax for items too. I don't think that's true, but yeah, I don't know, Carrie. It's like I didn't realize there'd be so many trolls up so early in the morning. America has over 400 military bases globally. Who's the global bully? Well, if we really have that many, then we shouldn't. I'm not for global or us being all over the world being the police. There is something to be said with that. America needs to be strong, and the world is better off when America is strong. What is this? TDS equals Trump devotion syndrome. Yeah, you can't make it up now. It's already been something. You can't just change it like you did the rainbow. We're sick of letting you guys just take our symbols and our slogans. It's normal people that don't apologize for dictators and pedophiles. You are the outlier. I guess that means you think that Trump is a dictator? Is that what you're saying? Point to the place on the doll where the bad orange man hurt you. Can't see this. Da-da-da-da. Man, this got this got low, guys. This got low. It's you? Man. Church is a club for pedophiles? People really believe that stuff? That's a shame if people actually believe that stuff. So, like, he did his own people, Maduro. Doesn't that make him a bully, or no? Just when Trump does it? Um, is this MAGA or MEGA? Make IZRAIL great again? Some of these guys out here hate so much they don't even know how to spell the countries that they hate so much. It's kind of remarkable, really, if you think about it. It's like, wow, man, you hate so much that, but you can't even spell the country that you hate. Like, wow, man, you probably should just not said anything. Amen, Zach. Today's kind of just whatever. Get on and BS. We had some shows over the weekend, and I was on yesterday morning when the Venezuela news broke. Thank you kindly for the sub. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the bell and check out some of our social media stuff. I have a Substack and some other stuff going on. So have at it. Check it out. Been at this for a little while now. The filing cabinet achieved enlightenment and immediately forgot why. Its drawers floated open, releasing a swarm of laminated regrets that bit anyone thinking about lunch. Yeah, they try to call conservatives snowflakes with their soy boy feminine voices after a decade of being called snowflakes, right? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. We're just going to call you what you've been calling us now. Trump is a dick. I mean, maybe he is. What difference does that make? We need somebody like that in office. We have too many nice people now. We need a hardline businessman. I love those arguments. I'm not going to look it up because you totally wouldn't believe it anyway. So I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bring any facts to the table. It's not that I don't have any facts to bring to the table. That's not it at all. That's not it at all. It's more that you won't read it, so I won't bother. You won't bother. Dude look like Jewish Timo Eminem. Oh man, I need the curly deals, right? Like the long curly deals. Do I need those things? That's probably gonna help. I should probably do that. Ooh, it used to be funny. Now they're just getting lame. The invasion of Venezuela is really about oil, and everyone knows it because that's the narrative that's being pushed. So I was told to repeat that and regurgitate it all over the place. So that's what I'm going to do because it makes me feel smart and virtuous. That's what that should really say. That's what that should really say. Are you libtards in here because mine is touch not on? Are they on in the morning? It's not an official military strike until Pete Hegseth shares the exact coordinates with complete strangers on a Signal group chat. I mean, touche. What can I say? I'm not going to sit here and defend everything, right? An entire country is celebrating right now because Trump ended their dictatorship. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it stays that way. Yeah, Israel, right? They hate it so much, but they can't even spell it. The dumbest people I know critique spelling when they don't have a leg to stand on. No, the dumbest people we know get into arguments and try to look intelligent when they can't even spell the name of the country that they hate so much, supposedly. It's worth pointing those things out. Like if you're arguing with, I mean, that's a silly argument. If you're arguing with somebody online, they misspelled the or something like that by accident, or skip an E or whatever, then yeah, that's this kind of, I don't bother critiquing the spelling. But when you're hating on Israel or a whole country and you can't spell the country correctly, that says a lot about where you're coming from and really what you're thinking, what you've been indoctrinated with. I mean, that's what that is. I get it what you're saying. That would apply if it was just some dumb word that he misspelled, but he misspelled the most important word in the whole sentence. The country he's supposed to hate so much, he can't even spell it. That tells me that there's been no research done. He just hates it because he's been told to hate it. That's it. Think about it. If he did any research on it, he would know how to spell Israel. But since he didn't do any research on it and was just given his marching orders and told what to think, he can't even spell the word Israel. It's a tell. It's a tell to anyone awake enough to see it. If you're not indoctrinated or conditioned to just believe all that garbage, you can take a step back and think a little critically, or even just look and see, wow, this guy hates Israel a whole bunch, but he doesn't know how to spell Israel. That tells me he doesn't hate Israel. He hates, well, I guess he does, but he hates Israel because people have told him to do so. He doesn't hate Israel because of anything else. It's just because he's been told to do so. He's a sheep. He's just another sheep. I mean, don't you see how stupid that is? He came in hating on Israel, but he spelled it like that. Israel. Israel? I mean, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Anybody can do it. There's indoctrinated people on the left and on the right. I get it. I'm not saying there's not, but my goodness, there's more on the left. There just is. I appreciate that. I appreciate that sub and like. I appreciate that. If you have a minute, throw a comment in the chat, in the comment section after the video's over. If you're still here, that helps with the algorithm. And you know we need all the help we can get. So, holy mackerel, this chat is great. This chat is great. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I start going in the morning because I get up super early, and I do a Thursday night show at 9 p.m. And I work full-time job, and I got 5 kids and a wife, and you know life is busy and everything. And but I get up super early. I'm usually up at like 4:30, even on the weekend. So I was like, I should probably just get on there and do a show in the morning. Let's see how it goes. I like being on here. I think it's kind of fun. So let's see what happens on there. And here we are. But I never would have suspected that there would have been so many haters, so many trolls or lefties or whatever it is. It doesn't. I don't want to subscribe left and right because it's on both sides, like I always say. But I never realized there'd be so many so early in the morning. I didn't think they drank coffee or anything like that. I'd like to know. I look like Eminem. I don't think I look like Eminem, but okay. I'd like to know whatever happened with that in Fort Knox inspection thing they were going to do, right? Oh, there you go. Don't worry about the Venezuelans dancing happily in the streets. Ignore that. Don't believe your lying eyes. What do they call it? A deep fake. It must be a deep fake. Just wait for the Democrat overlords to tell us how to feel about this. Amen. That's exactly what happens. Eminem is gay. I'm not a fan. He's a great rapper, but I'm not a fan. I had Eminem, the first Eminem CD when I was in the military and I was at NTC. I was like left in the desert for 2 days by myself and my APC. All I had was my Eminem CD and a bunch of MREs. I drove for the lieutenant. That was like some of the best. Those days were great. I got to hang out in the middle of the desert in a tank, so I was safe. It was perfect. It was great. I liked it. APC, so there was room in there. Greetings from Germany. Hey, out there in Germany. Thanks for being here. I like hearing that when there's people from all across the world. I got some people here yesterday that were from all over the place, man. We had some Australians, some English people, or UK. There was somebody from what was it? Eastern Europe, I think. I forget. I just happened to catch it. Yeah, I'm for ending all the wars. That's a great idea. Yeah. Sure, Trump is an asshole, but he's the asshole we need. Amen. I mean, he is. You don't know Jack, old man. Stop yelling at Cloud Keck. Okay. Okay. we're not at war. You should pull that narrative back. That's an easy one to disprove. You know, you want your lies and your propaganda to be built on half truths. That's the most effective propaganda is propaganda that's built on half truths. So that's what you need. Okay, so keep it a little. You gotta have a little bit true, just a little bit. A businessman that makes us pay more when pennies are done away with. They cost 4 cents to make. 1 penny costs 4 cents to make. I mean, that seems pretty simple. That's the truth. When the US is strong, the world is prosperous. When the US is weak, the world goes to S. That's truth. That's truth. They can say anything they want, but you gotta watch the actions and watch the hand they don't want you to look at right now. If one hand's busy and it's got all this news in it, look at the other hand. Looks like America has misplaced a war. Has anybody seen it? That's funny. I try to have fun with it. You gotta have fun with it. You gotta be able to laugh. If you can't laugh, then what's the point? I don't want to go through life all miserable and angry. I like to argue not argue, but I like to conversate with the left and try to understand each other. And if we could do that in a respectful way, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. It seems hard though to find any lefties that are willing to have a conversation. Notice I did not say debate. Willing to have a conversation that will come up and do it. I keep thinking, oh, I should do a big long like a panel or whatever, and invite some of these people up to say their piece and see what they have to say and have a conversation about it. But it ends up always just turning into insult fests and gotcha moments and those kind of things. And that's pointless. It doesn't help anybody. Those kind of quote unquote debates don't help anybody. It's just me trying to get you. And like the left, the ones who follow the Saul Alinsky tactics, they will debate you. They're not out to win. They're out to keep you from winning. They know they can't win on facts and stuff, on principle. So they try to shut you down, label you, whatever, that kind of stuff, personal attacks. Oh, this is this kind of stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? Donald Trump could not run a casino. What makes Trump flunkies believe he will be able to run a country long distance? It's like a long distance relationship. Is that what we're doing? They don't ever work out, those long distance relationships. There's too much pressure and stress on those relationships, Those long ones don't really work too good. I wish Trump would send the military to Australia and arrest our prime minister. Right? It's not. This is what I just said, guy. It's not that. Oh my gosh, someone made a spelling mistake. It's that It's not the spelling. It's the intelligence that I'm questioning. Get this straight. The guy is saying how much he hates Israel. We should all hate Israel, but he can't spell Israel. Don't you understand how profound that is? How telling that is? That person should just put it away, wrap up his YouTube stuff, and go read a dang book. Like, that's the point. It's not that he just misspelled a word, it's that he misspelled the word. The whole point of the sentence was just talking about this guy's hate for Israel, and he spelled it Izreal. Israel. That's what the point is, man. That's what the point is, right? I know, right? It's amazing. It's truly amazing to be an American. It really is. We won the lottery. If you were born in America, you won the world's lottery already. I love people. I'm not a huge supporter of Israel either. I'm not. I've been doing some research and it's been changing my mind on some stuff. Yeah, Israel. Yeah, bots bought English learning lessons from Timu. What we got now here? Yep. Yeah, Americans first. America first. That's the way we should be. Yeah, that's what happened. He spelled it incorrectly to avoid the Jewish AI censorship. Well, you are far gone, aren't you? You are really out there. Wow. You should check out my store. Look what happens if you disagree with weak-minded morons. Yeah. Hashtag long. Keep believing that. You silly Americans believe anything your government and media tells you. What a silly statement. That's pretty silly. That's not true for any country. You've been indoctrinated. Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of hate speech on the left, though. That says yeah. Trump is for making Trump great and is Trump first, period. Cool story, bruh. Tired, but cool story, bruh. That stuff gets old. When are you guys going to wake up and be able to actually have a conversation? When are you going to be able to actually have a conversation with somebody without, Trump's a pedo, you're a pedo defender, he's a murderer, he's a dictator, he's this, he's that, he's a fascist, he's this, he's that, you're this, you're that. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's pathetic to see that on the left. I wish some of those guys would actually be able to like have a conversation. I'd like to have a conversation. I'd like to have a conversation, but it doesn't seem like anyone ever can. When I would go to protests and try to interview the lefties, they could never make it past, well, once they made it past 2, but they could never make it past 3 questions. Like the simple questions like, "Hey, why are you out here?" "Oh yeah, well, why do you feel that way?" That would hit it right there. It tells you a lot if when you ask a lefty when they're protesting somewhere why they feel that. Like if you say, "Why are you here today?" half of them can't answer the question. The ones who do answer the question oftentimes look down at the sign that they've been given to hold to see what it says to make sure they're lined up with the narrative. But no one makes it past. Almost no one makes it past. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why do you support that? Why do you feel that way? No one makes it past that usually, because usually the answer is, because the news told me to. That's where they're at. the narrative that they were told to believe that. So now they believe that. That's really as simple as it gets. It's really as simple as it gets. It's a shame. It's a sad, sad situation. So sad. The USA is literally the laughing stock of the world. Okay. All right. That's why everybody wants to be here. Baltimore, Maryland in the house. Go Steelers. Big game. Big game. I'm not really a big football fan anymore. It's kind of the Roman Coliseum to me, but it is what it is. Massive fraud in Minnesota, massive fraud in California, massive fraud in Obamacare. Florida Democrat Congresswoman stole $5 million from FEMA. Democrats lie and steal. Politicians lie and steal. Let's be real. Let's be fair now. Greetings from frozen Michigan. Hey, Michigan. Hey, keep it up. Keep the likes up. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm supposed to say all that stuff, right? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. It's up above or down below or wherever the hell it is. Just hit it. Smash it. Smash it. Oh my goodness. I put my store in the comments there. Should be pinned to the top. Check it out. Check it out. Oh, this turned into, just me just arguing with lefties. The partying in the streets of Venezuela will stop as soon as American troops start pouring into Venezuela in large numbers. That's when the body bags will start arriving at Dover Air Force Base. If Trump wanted to militarily take over Venezuela, he could have already had that totally completed in probably less than 24 hours. For goodness sake. For goodness sake. That's not the goal. Your beard is trimmed like you've been in prison too long. I spent too much time on it, bro. Actually, no, my wife's a hairstylist, so I enlisted her to keep it trimmed or whatever. If you look at some of my older videos, man, it was just all over the place. You had flyaways and everything, and she's a hair stylist or hairdresser or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to mess that up, but so she takes care of me here and there. You can't be Republican and call yourself mystical. Oh, okay. Yeah, the lefties side with the Somalians, the drug dealers. They're just all about crime. They're all about it. They are all about it. They like rapists and drug dealers, and they'll go have margaritas with you, and when whatever, feed you the liquor that you're gonna go home and beat your wife on. That's kind of what it is. I love this stuff. It's so subverted, so diluted, so diluted.
The real powerhouse countries are dividing America, and you are all falling for it. Americans are hilarious.
Oh, it gets silly, man. It gets silly. So, man, what are we doing here? I get ready for church in a little while. Very mature. I am very mature. Very mature. It's all about being mature. Independent AM is here just for shock value, I guess. That's one of those people that's just here for shock value. They come in and try to get people riled up by saying the most inappropriate. I didn't see what he said, but by saying the most inappropriate things they possibly can in order to try and trigger people, because they got to trigger people. That is where they find their value. If they can trigger somebody, they win. It's important to them. It's very, very important. He did the pedo voice. Guard your kids. Is
This the pedo voice? This is the pedo voice? Oh my goodness. I didn't know it was the pedo voice. I thought it'd be creepier. This is just kind of like a higher pitch noise. You know? I don't know. I guess, you know, they said it's the pedo voice in the chat, so that must be what it is.
I just farted. Yeah, it gets dumb. It gets dumb, that's for sure. Well, it's Sunday. Where are we at here? It's Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. I'm sorry to everybody out there. I wish tomorrow wasn't Monday. I really truly wish tomorrow wasn't Monday. So we'll have to see. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so we don't, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss when I go live. Sometimes my wife Faith comes on with me. You'll like her. She's a sweetheart. God bless all you guys. And I say, you know, smile at a stranger, which is what my wife always says. But what I want you to do is I want you to pray for your enemies. Okay. So when I say pray for your enemies, and you go, a lot of people will go, oh, no. They'll think of somebody and they'll go, oh, no, I can't pray for that person. That person wronged me, or that person did this or stole from me, or whatever it is. But that's the exact person. That's who I want you to pray for. That's the exact person that you should pray for. When you pray for someone like that, it helps you. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was a lot younger, I started a company with a guy I was working with, a construction company, and we worked together for years. And then one day I realized this. Long story short, the guy was just getting super racist and teaching his kids to be that way, and I didn't want to be around it. So I decided that we were going to split the business. So I ended up going and going to a lawyer, dissolution agreement, yada yada yada. One of the rules was you couldn't name. We were both going to start a new company, and one of the rules was that we couldn't. Thanks for the beard comment. We couldn't use the same name or a super similar name or whatever. So long story short, I named my new company something totally different. He named his company the same exact name, except he added a single word, home, in it. He put home in there for a construction company. That's not much of a change, right? So I was bitter at him because he was able to keep, a lot of the business that we had built together. He kept it because the name was so similar and all that stuff. And I was bitter at him for years about it. And then one day I got down on my knees next to my bed and I prayed, and I forced myself to pray for that guy. I prayed for his success. I prayed that, everything would be, I forget exactly what I prayed for, but basically that he would be successful and he would make money and his family would be good and this and that. I prayed for that. As soon as I said amen, I literally felt just a calm, like a tingle, but a calmness wash over my body, literally from my head to my feet. And that was it. It was gone. I never had bitterness towards that guy again. It was gone. So praying for that guy, even though I didn't want to, I did it honestly and truthfully. Praying for him helped me more than anybody. Didn't help him. I mean, it might have, I don't know, but it didn't. It helped me. It helped me let go of that. Right? It's hard to pray for your enemies. Christ never said it was easy. Never said it was easy. He said it was necessary. And it's true. And then there you go. That's the kind of people. America's stupid and praying is dumb. Blah, 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 blah. But you're here though. they're here for a reason. Maybe God led you here so you could hear that message. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know what. But hey, I'm glad you're here. All of you, the trolls included. I'm glad you all came. Even the people that say prayer doesn't work and religion is gay and all that kind of stuff. Whatever. You can have your opinion. Have it. What you just said is exactly why I walked away from the Democrat Party. Democrats don't know how to pray for their enemies. That's part of just being an American, like not praying, but looking at it like that. My mentality of it is that we're all Americans. We are all Americans. You may be a liberal, or you may be a nut job leftist progressive. I may think that your opinions are crazy, but I'd still treat you like an American. I'm not going to label you and put you in a box. I'm not going to insult you. I want to talk about the issues and stuff like that. I'm not worried about labeling you so that I feel better or I can shut people down or make people not hear you and all that kind of stuff. So just remember, pray for your enemies. Hey, man, they need it, right? I mean, they do. So God bless. Have a wonderful Sunday. I hope your Monday is as painless as it needs to be, as painless as it can be. And just enjoy the day. God bless you.